Help, I failed. Let's go to Mark chapter 14, verse 72. I'm looking at my Bible here, by the way. And the second time the cock crew, and Peter called to mind the word that Jesus said unto him, Before the cock crow twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. And when he thought thereon, he wept. Now, as a Christian, I'm sure we've all had an experience in our life where we have failed God. We have fallen short. And not only did we fail God, but we knew beforehand if we did this or if we disobeyed what he told us, we would fail him. And he had told us beforehand not to do a certain thing, not to go a certain place, not to listen to a certain radio station, but us knowing that if we did the prerequisite to that, the following would happen. If you get what I'm saying, if you've been there before where you failed and you can look back and say, all the things leading up to that point is what caused me to fail, not because I failed there, but everything that led up to it was what caused me to fail, whether that wasn't praying enough, not reading the Bible enough, listening to the wrong music. And as you begin to progress in that style, in that way, you fell off into a alternate lifestyle or path, even if it was just for a few minutes. You had failed God, and that's where Peter was. He told Jesus, he said, I'm not going to betray you. I think, and we go back here, and he says, where did he say it? But Peter said unto him, Although all shall be offended, yet will I not. And Jesus saith unto him, Verily I say unto thee, that this day, even in this night, before the cock crow twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. So before the cock crows twice, Peter was going to deny him 3 times. And Peter was, no, I will go with you even to death. That's what he was saying. He told Jesus that. But here he is, and Peter called to mind the word. Hold on, let's go back. But he began to curse and to swear, saying, I know not this man of whom you speak. That was the failure. And the second time the cock crew, and Peter called to mind. So there was that reminder that called to mind the word that Jesus said unto him, Before the cock crow twice, thou shalt deny me thrice. And when he thought thereon, he wept. And if you've ever been in this situation, there's been something that triggers your mind after you fail. That thought, that thing, you see something, you hear something, and you remember vividly. You knew if you didn't do this, or if you did this, your failure would come. You knew that. And it was there. So as soon as you seen it, as soon as you heard it, as soon as you thought it, you immediately began to be sorrowful. And it says here, and when he thought thereon, so he had that thought because he heard the cock crow again. He heard it again. The first time I feel like he heard it subconsciously, like it's there. The second time he heard it, and he knew. When that thing comes, whatever it may be, whether you see something, hear something, feel it or think about it, when it comes after you have failed, and now here you are in your failure, in your sorrow, in your hurt, you have become just hurt all of a sudden, just down in the dumps. And it says, when he thought thereon, he wept. And there's been times where you would fail, you get in trouble, and as soon as you feel it, you become sorrowful, and you go to pray, you go to cry, and that's what Peter did. He went to repent. He went away, and he was sorrowful that he had failed God, sorrowful that he did the wrong thing, even though he was in a hard situation, but he was sorrowful. And first thing I want to say is, if you're in that position, if you're in that place where you have failed and you feel sorrowful, it's not good that you failed, but it's good that you still feel sorry. That means your heart is not hardened to sin. Your heart is not hardened to the ways of this world, to the things that you shouldn't be doing. So that's the good thing about it. Your heart is sorrowful. You're sorry. You're hurting. And that means God is still dealing with you. God has not took his hand away from you. That's God's hand over your life, is how my preacher described it one time, or my pastor described it one time, and he's still dealing with you. Otherwise, you wouldn't feel any type of sorrow or pain or hurt for betraying Jesus. But if you continue on there's two instances we have where people vividly betray Jesus. I know we always give Judas a whole bunch of discredit, I guess, or whatever the case may be, for betraying Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. For one, we betray him for a lot less than that, and that might be a video, but if you can think on that. But two, Peter betrayed him by denying him. Because if you're not for him, you're against him. And here, Peter is denying him in front of these people, so he betrayed him as well. The difference was Judas went and hung himself. Peter went and prayed. So in failing, I need help. When I'm hurt, I need help. What should we do? Turn back to God immediately. Get back on the path. Remember the way that you should walk, like Peter did. He remembered, and when he thought about it, he wept. He was sorrowful. Now go and pray. Go and get it back right, because that's how we should live as Christians. That's how we should approach it. If we do happen to fall, get back on track immediately. Go and pray. Don't continue to go off. Don't continue, like Judas went to try to cover it up by going to talk to the chief priest and the people that gave him the money to betray him. But that's not the case. You need to go back to God. We need to go back to God immediately thereafter our fall. When we're sorrowful, get back to God. So if you're hurt, that's good. That means God's not done with you. He's still dealing with you. And two, get back to him immediately. Do not stay in that failure. Do not turn to other people, other things. Get back to God. That's the video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know in the comments what I could do to be better, or how you like this video, how it resonated with you, and if there's any scriptures that you can think of that kind of back this point up of what I'm saying. So thank you so much for watching. There's a video here. Subscribe button there. Until next time, peace.